crystal balls that reveal the future, wands with extraordinary powers, symbols that control nature, and mysterious books summoning forces from other realms. Magic and wizardry have always fascinated humanity. Once banned by laws, considered dangerous, and forbidden in religious texts, what is this mysterious concept? Is it truly a metaphysical force, or could it be an ancient technology yet to be understood? Let's explore the depths of this mystery together. Let's find the answers to these questions together. Welcome to Jerkegi Bool. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were perhaps the pinnacle of magic and wizardry in modern culture. With the wealth brought by the Industrial Revolution, the upper class, now with more money and time on their hands, began to lose themselves in the mysticism of the East. The mysterious knowledge of the East fascinated Western societies immensely. Secrets from the mountains of India, forbidden knowledge of the Middle East, and books found in the tombs of Egypt began to captivate Europe and America. This wasn't some minor fascination. Even the most powerful businessmen and their elite circles stood in line before mystics who claimed to read the future through crystal balls. The allure of the unknown and the mystical was sweeping through the upper echelons of society. One of the most famous figures in this movement was Aleister Crowley. Born into a wealthy, devout family, Crowley studied theology at Cambridge. However, upon realizing that Christianity's roots were buried in ancient beliefs, he left the religion and began traveling the world, equipped with knowledge from the Golden Dawn, a secret magical society. One day, Crowley found himself in Cairo, where he met a woman claiming to be a priestess of Isis. She telepathically transferred to him the secrets of magic from the infamous Book of the Law, or so Crowley claimed. In the following years, he became deeply immersed in what would later be known as the philosophy of Thelema. As he uncovered more of the supernatural world, his followers began to see him as a prophet. If you're wondering, what did this man really do? Let me reveal the big secret. Using various drugs, Crowley captivated the minds of naive followers, leading them into bizarre rituals involving unimaginable fantasies, including ritualistic sex parties. You might be asking, where did this come from? I bring it up early because, in modern times, this dynamic lies at the core of almost every popular occult and magical order. From the Golden Dawn to the Thelemic Order, from the SS to Bohemian gatherings, nearly all these groups formed around a cunning leader. Curious yet naive individuals, seeking shortcuts to spiritual experiences, were drawn in with mind-altering substances, only to find themselves in rituals that often culminated in sexual acts. This is crucial because today, many still view magic as something that can be unlocked by reading a hidden book and drawing pentagrams on the ground. The reason magic is banned in many countries today stems largely from the deviant activities of 19th and 20th century occult groups. However, the concept of magic is far more profound, representing the power to shape the fundamental building blocks of creation with one's will. In many ancient cultures, magic held immense significance, and its practitioners were highly respected. The reason for this respect was simple, yet crucial. Magic, as the art of controlling nature's fundamental forces, had a profound role in ancient Egypt. Sorcerers served as a blend of doctors, priests, and educators. They prepared herbal potions and enchanted salves to heal the sick, played a key role in the psychological treatment of patients, and crafted talismans to protect people from evil spirits and creatures. These were all essential duties of the sorcerers, deeply woven into daily life. In ancient Egypt, magic was seen as a complement to medicine. The word Heka referred to a divine secret of creation. The gods used Heka to create humanity, and it was believed to be a force that invisibly connected everything. With the right training, humans could harness this power. Priests destined to learn Heka were taken to temples at age 7 or 8, separated from their families to fully devote themselves to this sacred education. For years, these initiates studied ancient texts, including the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and applied their knowledge in practice. After years of training, they were assigned roles based on their abilities, with the most skilled serving the pharaoh. The knowledge given to priests was kept secret accessible only to those worthy. Unlike today's charlatans, these priests underwent rigorous training in advanced mathematics, natural sciences, astronomy, astrology, and alchemy. You've likely heard the story of Moses and his staff, which turned into a serpent when cast to the ground. The Pharaoh laughed, saying his priests had the same power, and they transformed their staffs into serpents. This is the essence of Heka in Egyptian belief, the force behind the nature of things. If fully mastered, one could become what the ancients considered a godlike being. Keep this in mind, we'll return to it shortly. The Maya civilization was known for its advanced calendar systems, mathematics, and astronomy, all intertwined with magic and rituals. Maya priests were believed to control the energies of time and space, using these powers for healing and prophecy. Their magic focused on balancing and harmonizing nature's forces, often through ritual dances, sacrifices, and meditation. These practices were crucial for maintaining cosmic order and ensuring the well-being of their society. Similarly, the Celts believed that magic represented the power connecting the heavens and the earth. Their priests were thought to use this power to bring knowledge from realms beyond time and space. Celtic magic placed great importance on seasonal cycles, herbal medicine, and energy work. Stone arrangements and sacred trees played a central role in their rituals. In Sumer, one of the earliest civilizations, magic was referred to in ancient tablets and texts like the treasures of darkness. The term magi may roughly translates to wise man, with the root M carrying meanings like universal laws or the force that maintains order in the universe. While it may not have a clear equivalent like Heka in Egypt, the Sumerian concept of magic closely mirrors that of Egypt, referring to the fundamental force that underpins the universe. The Sumerians believed this power was taught to humanity by the Anunnaki, the supreme magi in their beliefs. If you've watched my video on the Anunnaki, you'll recall that while the ancients worshipped them as gods, they were actually flesh and blood beings. According to the Sumerians, the Anunnaki taught humans the fundamental laws of nature and how to use these laws to their advantage. The concept, which the Sumerians referred to as magi or magi, evolved over time. In Akkadian, it became magu, in Babylonian mago, in Greek magos, and in Latin magus. By the Middle Ages, it transformed into the term magic as we know it today. Yet, the core meaning has always remained consistent. Wise individuals and wisdom in the Middle Eastern civilizations have been lost many times due to countless collapses and renewals. Archaeological efforts face challenges, especially given the region's current turmoil. However, Eastern civilizations come to the rescue. Their archival mechanisms, better preserved throughout history, provide deeper insight into the universal essence of magic, accessible through Eastern philosophies and texts. Disciplines like feng shui, Vedic, tantric, Shinto, and yoga all come into play here. Surprised? Yes, yoga is a form of magic, as are Tai Chi and Reiki. This realization might surprise you, but it also makes me a master of magic. Strange, right? But there's no need to be shocked. As I mentioned earlier, the word magic has gained a negative meaning in modern times, though it actually has a much deeper origin, which I'll discuss later in the video. But first, let's correct some misconceptions so that future researchers won't face confusion and no one views me as some dark figure. I already explained the historical meaning of the word magic, the backbone of the universe's structure. A magician is someone who attempts to control this energy. Remember that. These concepts are also referred to as seer, meaning superior abilities. The main goal is to channel the universal energy into a specific discipline. Through yoga, you channel energy into your body for physical development. In Reiki, which I've trained in, you're a conduit, offering this energy as healing. In Taoism, meditation draws energy to achieve physical and spiritual balance. In Shinto, you aim to communicate with other realms and align with nature. Eastern magic isn't about dramatic spells like abracadabra from Harry Potter, but about harnessing energy for balance and healing. Many of these concepts entered our lives through popular culture. Eastern philosophies introduce this structure as ki or ki, and it's seen as a life force. But life here is much more encompassing. It refers to the fundamental energy that permeates the entire universe. Just like in Sumerian and Egyptian beliefs, despite being separated by thousands of kilometers, the concepts are strikingly similar. Isn't that fascinating? Through meditation, yoga, or what we call zikr, as well as specific hand movements called mudras during healing or meditation, one can channel this energy for spiritual and physical nourishment. Over time, individuals master the ability to control, feel, and even see this energy. Don't be skeptical, it's amazing what can happen when you truly commit. In 1978, Dr. Lawrence met Qigong Master John Chun while filming a PBS documentary in Indonesia. Chun, a nickname for ease, was a healer specializing in an ancient art passed from teacher to student. He treated patients worldwide by accumulating qi through meditation and transferring it to others using acupuncture needles or even just his touch. In fact, in one part of the documentary, there's footage of him using this energy to ignite newspaper. Later, the filmmakers, along with expert scientists and technical equipment, returned to Java to further investigate. Joe Chun demonstrated his abilities right before their eyes. The strange part is that while the experts clearly felt John's energy, which resembled electrical discharges, none of their equipment could detect it. John insisted that qi energy is entirely different from electrical energy, and that's why the machines couldn't measure it, yet it still had dramatic effects on people. Arastermuller vevaskan likla gegen gunlerden sanra John Ryasinda hakasina gerdu kunu. Veonan sadas hokadan oumlaut krensai actorilikak biljalari herkusil pelastic ikan karali kignita geni skyladagini and ladarak inzivaya kekalir. Weber daha televizi ankilari ilgrorsmez kendi haland yasa dika data tata villarin humrusona arin kader devamet mystir. Some of you might be asking, if magic, at its core, is about controlling energy, can't someone use this energy for harm instead of good? It's a great question, but unfortunately, the answer isn't as pleasant. You're right, it's just energy. And just as it can be used for good, it can also be used for very bad things. Our universe is built on duality, hot and cold, light and dark, positive and negative, yin and yang. As a result, we have the power to use any force, including this energy, for either positive or negative purposes. Don't forget the words of ancient peoples. Gods created humans, endowing them with the ability to use magical powers and manipulate the fundamental energies of the universe. Moving past ancient deities, let's examine this with a modern perspective. Both monotheistic religions and philosophical beliefs claim that humans exist as part of the Creator and will ultimately return to it. In Sufism, it is taught that humans are born embodying the attributes of the Creator. Abilities like healing, remote viewing, spatial manipulation, and time control are depicted as skills that can be acquired through years of dedicated practice. However, historically, we also encounter a concept that represents the negative side of this equation: dark magic. No, it's not like Harry Potter. In the video, recall all the magical approaches I've discussed so far. Wizards are highly trained, specializing in natural sciences, educated in alchemy, and have mastered energy manipulation techniques. However, using this knowledge in the opposite way leads to dark magic. For instance, someone with the knowledge to create a herbal ointment that heals wounds could also use that knowledge to make a poison. People from that era, compared to today's standards, would perceive this as a dark magic ritual. This is the physical aspect of it. There's also a metaphysical aspect to consider. You can use universal energy to heal someone, but the same energy can disrupt their natural flow. This is energy manipulation. For those wondering if we're drifting into the esoteric, be patient, soon we'll cover the scientific side as well. Remember, I mentioned that this energy can also be used for communication with other realms. History provides a great example of this concept. Solomon's abilities, featured in nearly all religious texts, are characterized by his dominion over the fundamental forces of nature and the supernatural. Remember, the term great refers to the art of mastering these essential natural forces. Solomon's possession of this power was largely due to a special seal granted to him by his Lord. Debates continue about the exact nature of this power. Some claim it was a ring, while others suggest that Solomon had knowledge of secret words to awaken these abilities. What matters is the result. Solomon used this power to build monumental structures, leverage it in battles, and even exert control over beings from other realms. There are ongoing debates about what this power precisely was. Some say it was a ring, while others believe Solomon knew secret words that activated his powers. What is crucial is the outcome. Solomon utilized this power to construct massive edifices, turn battles in his favor, and dominate entities from beyond. I'm discussing entities known as jinn in a general sense. Among the most captivating parts of Solomon's narrative is the encounter with the Queen of Sheba, Bilqis. Here's the story. King Solomon writes a brief letter to Queen Bilqis of Sheba, demanding that her kingdom submit to his rule or face his great power. Upon hearing various tales about this king, Bilqis sets out with a caravan to visit him. She is mesmerized by what she sees in his palace, especially when one of Solomon's jinn transports her own throne from her kingdom to Solomon's palace. These fantastical elements are attributed to secret knowledge known as magical power or book wisdom. Historically, those practicing such arts performed various blood rituals, using symbols and personal items often hair from their targets to exert magical influence. Similar to the story of Solomon, they sometimes employed beings from other realms to inflict harm. This practice became so prevalent that, in the 18th century BCE, Babylonian King Hammurabi included laws against magic and sorcery, resulting in the execution of those engaged in these practices. For instance, if accused of witchcraft and subjected to trial by river, survival means innocence. Drowning indicates guilt and leads to property seizure. Those accused and investigated under strict rules should not be spared. Practices like child sacrifice, divination, and necromancy are abominable in the Lord's eyes. Later, this approach is echoed in Christianity and the Quran, where magic is depicted as the work of Satan. Both religious texts and cultural attitudes, along with the Inquisition's witch hunts that unjustly executed thousands, have ingrained magic as a profoundly negative concept in people's minds and culture. This issue isn't solely about unfair reasons. When people receive knowledge, it frequently leads to corruption. Honestly, how many out of 10 would dedicate their lives to healing others, and how many would use it for personal benefit and fame? This approach, particularly after God's once revered left, led to the rise of exaggerated religious rituals. Many claiming to communicate with these beings exploited people, prompting harsh laws. Consequently, these laws pushed magical practices into secrecy and nearly erased dark magic techniques. In Western countries, particularly post-industrial revolution, growing wealth and fantasy pursuits led to magic being seen mainly through fantastical tales. The proliferation of absurd books, films, and eccentric elites using substances to fly contributed to magic becoming a negative and alarming concept in these societies. Unlike the absurdities seen in the West, Eastern countries, having developed differently, view universal energy, or magic, as a genuine and positive aspect of life and culture. So, to recap ancient beliefs, is it scientifically feasible to harness universal energy to control fundamental forces, utilize it for personal benefit, and communicate with other dimensions? What does modern science have to say on this matter? The question itself is somewhat irrelevant, because science emerged directly from magic. On the channel, when I discuss the true origins of established concepts, I see people struggling with these revelations. It appears that my claim about magic being a foundation of science will continue to be misunderstood by some. Let's start by revisiting the exact meanings of both terms. Science is generally defined as the accumulation and process of knowledge based on systematic and orderly investigation of natural events, the workings of the universe, and various phenomena through experimentation and observation. The root of the word involves meanings like knowing, understanding, and researching. Recall the origins of the term magic or magin. Terms like magi, magus, and magos denote wisdom and wise individuals, while the concept itself involves manipulating nature through fundamental cosmic or supernatural forces. This includes both metaphysical elements and natural components. By merging these ideas, science seeks to answer what was once considered supernatural, enabling us to use natural forces for our benefit. Science reveals that the building blocks of atoms are protons, neutrons, and electrons, and provides ways to manipulate these components, which can lead to harnessing energy or creating destructive weapons. This duality in science mirrors the duality in magic, where both beneficial and harmful uses exist. How does science approach the concept of universal energy, akin to the universal life force discussed in Eastern philosophy? With our current understanding, we can address this in two ways. First, there's string theory. According to this theory, the fundamental structure of the universe consists of string waves vibrating at specific frequencies, and different materials are formed based on these vibrations. From this, we can infer that the plastic I'm holding, and all its chemical components, are fundamentally strings vibrating at certain frequencies. If I can manipulate this frequency, I could transform plastic into glass. This transformation is related to the vibrations of fundamental strings. Today, we understand basic physics and can explain these ideas scientifically, even if only theoretically. Thousands of years ago, people described this process as magic, which involved altering fundamental matter. This framework adds a new dimension to the story of Moses' staff turning into a snake, doesn't it? I'm not asserting that these events occurred precisely as described. There is no evidence from historical sources that Moses lived during the periods mentioned. I personally think these stories are fragments from advanced pre-flood civilizations. Similar accounts of objects acting or changing beyond physical laws are found globally, including in mystical traditions. But since that's a separate topic, let's move on. Another point where the concept of magic aligns with scientific theories is quantum field theory. This theory suggests that the universe is fundamentally composed of quantized vibrating entities, and that true emptiness cannot exist because everything is connected by a quantum field. In fact, Henry Casimir demonstrated in 1948 that we might even be able to generate energy from this field someday. As ancient sages indicated, the entire existence is fundamentally supported by an energetic framework, and humans have the ability to harness this energy in a manner similar to the gods. This raises two extraordinary questions. How did the first humans discover this? And did they use technology or their highly advanced brains to manipulate it? These are profound questions that remain unresolved. Ancient manuscripts present us with physical items, such as staffs and rings, that alter the nature of objects through energy manipulation. Additionally, they depict individuals who, much like in Eastern philosophies, achieve metaphysical or paranormal results using only their mental abilities. The core of this mystery involves what we consider the most advanced technology, ourselves. We might think we've explored all there is to see just some pentagrams and stories about Solomon, but the topic of magic is incredibly deep. It was, for me, far more challenging to organize and present this information than to research it. The mystery is complex due to the numerous interconnected concepts and approaches. However, when summarizing the situation, whether you use a scientific approach or physical methods from religious and Eastern beliefs, the outcome is consistent with what I've observed and experienced. There's an energy network that sustains the entire universe, and you can tap into it using both scientific technology and mental power through various training and exercises. Disciplinary practices that emphasize the positive utilization and channeling of energy are centered around the concept of universal life energy. After engaging in practices like Reiki for an extended period, and with some personal commitment, you can go beyond merely channeling this energy to actually feeling it in a profound way, an experience unmatched by anything else. The core approach behind concepts like magic, and sorcery remains significant despite their diminished status in Western civilization. Although they have been banned due to misuse for deception, creating false cults, or causing harm, this universal energy will continue to be fundamental to everything until the end of the universe. Using this energy as a source for meditation in the future and manipulating it to create desired objects from raw energy depends on how advanced humanity becomes. Utilizing this energy for our own health or others' well-being and transforming our lives to feel connected to the whole is a reflection of our individual growth. Never forget this. If you live your life by the molds others impose, saying something is good and something else is bad, you might hear the word magic and think, keep it away, it's evil. In doing so, you throw away a vast wealth of knowledge accumulated over thousands of years. If you told these same people that we split the atom, they'd feel the same fear. Don't fall into the trap of dismissing concepts out of fear. Investigate the underlying truths, distinguish between right and wrong, and deepen your understanding. We didn't come here to distance ourselves from what scares us or to make excuses. We are here to grasp the essence of creation fully. Using the opportunities provided to us for the benefit of all is a significant step toward enlightenment. If you use all this knowledge to harm others, like separating them from their partners or damaging their health, you've already taken the easy, corrupted path. I don't even consider such foolish approaches, and I doubt you could access genuine sources of such knowledge anyway. Historical texts on dark magic were replicated just like other writings. Because of the bans, most of what we have today are fictional works. A prime example is the notorious Necronomicon, which is well known but largely fictitious. In reality, it's a creation of H.P. Lovecraft. I made a video about it, and I recommend watching it. Remember, the easy path is always wrong. Creating life takes a lifetime, killing takes a second, building takes months, and destroying only takes minutes. Spiritual growth is a lifelong journey, while false paths are fleeting. Choose disciplines that refine you, leading to true happiness and goals. Magic is profound. After this video, I'll cover its positive aspects in meditation, technological potentials in Solomon, and darker themes in occult books. This will clarify the concept. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this content, support Truth Seeker by subscribing and sharing videos. See you next week. Take care.